Well, this is nice. I got to spend lunch out in my greenhouse today, which is pretty cool. Normally, I go inside and I park myself in front of my computer and play on Facebook for the duration of my lunch period. Um, so today, since I was having Subway, which is now neatly bundled, crumpled up, um, I could just bring it out here and eat it out here. So this is the interior of my greenhouse. Now, this is where the power and the water is going to be coming in. And once I get the power in, I may even bring network out here too, so I can have a webcam. But once I do that, I'll cover that up um, so that I don't have any rodents or anything like that trying to get through there. I'm sure they'll probably find other ways in. And of course, in this corner here, my pineapple plants will be placed. This is my one of my sad coffee trees that got bit when we had a thunderstorm in 38-degree weather. So you see how it kind of scorched the leaves. Fortunately, um, the stems of the leaves are still alive, and a few of them have dropped. I figure most of them will eventually drop. Of course, the plant will pull back in nutrients from what's remaining of the leaf, and that will help promote more growth. So that's a lateral. Yeah, that's a lateral. Um, all the main growing points on this plant is alive. So this will come out with new growth to keep growing vertical. And some of the laterals may die off, but they'll be replaced by other laterals. And the laterals are where the coffee is produced. So this tree, um, this is one of my trees. I believe this one is from a Mexican coffee called Red Catui. Um, and it produces a very dense, shorter. Um, uh, it's the growth is just it doesn't get very tall very fast. But and the leaves are all dense and everything, so which is great. It's a beautiful plant when it's not all dead like this. Um, This is my Kona. And you can see it's much taller than the Mexican coffee. They're both Arabicas, of course. This Kona is a Kona typica, and it didn't suffer quite as much. It got a little bit of scald there from the cold rain, but it didn't suffer quite as much. All the growing points are the main growing points are still alive. So that means the three stems I have on each plant is going to continue growing and putting out laterals. So hopefully I'll still get a bit of coffee produced next year. And of course you can see where the new suckers, the three trunks are growing from my stump. And I'll let these grow for another 3 years and then hopefully produce some coffee. And then I'll cut them back to the stump again and they'll produce more verticals and start the cycle all over again. These are some of my older coffee saplings. Um, they're not old enough to produce yet. And then, of course, they got hit by that cold water as well from the rain, and their leaves are suffering. But in a few months, you won't even see this. They will just be rich, lush, and very happy plants. So, of course, that's my lemongrass right here, and my Musa Rajapuri banana plant, and my Forastero coffee tree, chocolate trees. The Theobroma cacao chocolate trees. I had a pod at one time. I think it's dead. I think it just turned black, but it had been nibbled on. The stem had been nibbled on by probably grasshoppers. So I wasn't really expecting anything of it. In fact, I don't see any flowers either. I think they've pretty much the rain. Oh, there it is. There's my dead pod. You can see it right there. Uh, but hey, that means this plant is in pod producing maturity, and also, um, the pollinator is in this environment. So that pod means more will follow. So Now, the Forastero produces a more bitter chocolate, but it's the most common chocolate, and of course, it's one of the most robust trees. Evidence of it has survived me. So these trees are definitely survivors. They have all been completely defoliated at one point or another, and have bounced back. Of course, you can tell the weather's been kind of dry this summer, so the edges of the leaves are scorched a bit. But it survived the cold rain without any complaints at all. Well, no, that's wind damage. Um, and I expect a new flush to start on these trees here pretty soon. Um, and here's my vanilla. Now, this one did suffer a little bit of scorch damage. Fortunately, this growing point was preserved, so this particular vine is going to keep growing without any interruption. But the other vine growing here, the tip, and I'm looking for it, and I can't find. Oh, there it is, right there. Um, that got scorched, so it's going to produce another vine probably from one of these leaves. It'll just keep growing. So, which is a bummer, but that's okay. That's just the way things work sometimes. Um, but it's got roots. It's established, so that's going to happen pretty quickly now. These are very aggressively growing, uh, such as this one here. This bugger has really put off a lot of growth in this last summer since I rooted it. And it got a late start because, of course, I had to cut it and get it rooted into its new home. Now that it's rooted, this is just a beginning. These plants will grow extremely quickly, and it'll be a challenge to manage them even. But hopefully, they're mature plants, so hopefully here in the next year or two, I'll see some flowers and be able to try and produce some vanilla. Okay, these are my other little coffee seedlings. I planted those off of seeds produced off of one of my trees. Some of them got scorched a little bit, so they look a little ugly. They were fairly shaded too, so they're kind of diminutive at the moment, but they will increase in size pretty rapidly, especially now as I've got really good light in this greenhouse, even with this 30% shade cloth, which may not be enough come summer. I may need to put up another one when the summer comes, but it's going to be perfect over the winter. Um, and my plants are going to be really happy. So that's it. That's my lunch, and the remains of my lunch right there. Um, so I could probably do this every Thursday since we have Subway every Thursday. So it'd be nice instead of just going inside and parking in front of a computer, coming out here and playing with my plants. So I'll talk to you later.